Hello, this is Roger, Low Vision Product Manager here at HumanWare. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you get started with the Prodigy for Windows software on your Windows devices. So in any case where you're receiving the software, there will be an email involved, although the software can be downloaded and moved around using a USB stick or even added to a shared cloud services account. The initial startup is usually handled via an email. So let's go ahead and check my email account here, where I have received an email to go ahead and get started with the software. Now, you will receive this email even if you order directly from HumanWare. The name on the email may be different. In this case, I'm using an organizational level account where I'm inviting someone to use one of the seats in my account. But the email is extremely similar to what you'll see in this demonstration. So just look for the steps that are included here. So again, it's an account setup, download and install the software and get started is what the point of this email is. And down here's a little message that I sent along to this particular email account. I'm using Gmail. However, you could be using Outlook or Hotmail or any other email service that you may choose. So again, it just tells me what this email is for. I'm going to create a username and password, and then download and install Prodigy and get started. Down below, you'll see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different steps that I'm going to follow through on. So let's get started by clicking on the first step, view our invitation. We'll click there. I can see here that this is an invitation to get started. So let's click on accept here. And here you will see that there is a username and password field behind here. Please sign up and accept your invitation. You can, of course, cancel out of this by closing your browser window. But we're going to go ahead and use the name in this email. We're going to call this person Prodigy Wizard. The email is prodigywizard@gmail.com. That is fixed and cannot be changed. So it must be what is assigned to me either from HumanWare when I receive the email or from my administrator. I can change it later in a different way, but for right now, that is what it is. And typically, it will become your username. So now I need to create a password. And this must be 8 characters long. It has to have a uppercase and lowercase letter, as well as at least one number and a special character into it. So I'm going to be asked to confirm what I've typed in the first box. Hopefully I've got it correct. Next, I will click here and select my country. In this case, we'll scroll down here. I am in the United States. So let's see if we can find that. There we go, United States. And I've read and accept the terms and conditions. So I'll click on sign up here. And you can see now it's going to save my password. I don't have to do that, but my browser will remember it. So here's my personal information. I can edit any of this if I would like to, but just to give you a sense of what's here, again, this is just my account information. I can add a nickname, a display name, change anything that I want. I can change and add my contact information if I want all of that entered, and I can change my login details if I would like adding an alternative email. Whatever. So I don't need to do any of those things right now, but I can come back to that through the Prodigy software later if I would like to. So let's go ahead and close this window. I need to remember that password that I just created because I'm going to need it in a few moments. But at this point, I'm going to move on to step 2, which is where I download my Prodigy for Windows software. So let's click on to that. Up here in the upper right, I can see the download is taking place. It's going to happen pretty quickly, about 10, 15 seconds tops. So this will go to wherever you have designated to have it download. Now notice it is warning me, as often you will receive a warning. I trust the software. I know that it came from HumanWare, so I'm going to go ahead and click on keep. And it's going to add it to my downloads. So let me bring up my folder here. And we will go to my downloads. And here you can see where that installer has landed in my downloads folder. As you saw in my browser window, I could have clicked there to open it. I'm just showing this because if you missed that or you close it by accident, you'll want to know where it goes. Again, I've designated for my downloaded files to go to downloads here. You can redirect that, some folks have, so just beware of wherever you tell the system to download your files, that's where you want to go to get it. But at this point, it becomes a very standard install procedure. I click onto it, and it's going to open an installer for me. So I noticed that Launch When Ready is here. Of course, I'm going to get a warning here. These are typical things that you get. And then at this point, I can either install it or cancel it. So I'm going to click on to install here, and the installation is going to begin. Screen. It is set up for screen readers. I don't have mine turned on right now, but that's why we see this focus box at the top here. Down below, here are the end user license agreement for the software. So feel free to read through that if you would like. But you do have to go through or scroll all the way to the end for the accept button to activate. If I were to click decline, the installation would stop at this point. I could always come back and try again later. But in this case, and in most cases, you're going to go ahead and click on accept, and the install is going to continue. So we'll do that. Now here is where I will start to use those credentials we created in step one. You'll recall that my email is my username. So prodigywizard@gmail.com. And now I'll have to put in that password that I created. So again, you might want to write it down. Make sure you keep it in a safe place, but I've gone ahead and entered that here. If I forgot my password, I can click that link and get an email sent back to, again, in this case, it would be my prodigywizard@gmail.com, but I believe I remember it. So let's click there. It looks like everything is good. Yep, it validated my username and password combination there. So now we will continue with the install. I'm going to let this run. We'll probably cut a little bit out of the video here, but it should take less than 2 minutes. It will download multiple applications here. So you saw it downloading OCR, some text-to-speech. Now it's going to download the applications that are found in the Prodigi software. So right now it's the Magnifier, but it will also install a distance application and a files application to complete the process. So we'll let that run its course here. So all of that installation is done. Before I can continue, I do need to select a system language. I can choose up to 4. So again, this is set up where if you're using a screen reader, you can use it to navigate. There are buttons on the right here that you can tap on the arrows to move. You can move up and down with those. I'm going to just select English here. I'll choose Darius, Graham, and Karen. And then I'm going to scroll down since HumanWare is based out of Canada and choose one Canadian voice to install here as well. So let's use Luis. I'll tap the back button here. And then in the upper right, where I see this little airplane type symbol, I'm going to tap on that to send my selections for download. Prodigi will now interface with our cloud services to obtain the voices that I selected. This will take a minute or two to download and install each of these voices.
Speech menu, 3 items. On.
Okay, so you saw that all 4 voices were downloaded and installed. Again, you must select one. You don't have to choose 4, as many as you think you might use when you're using the software. Next up are to set the speech settings for when I'm using Prodigi. So you can see on the screen here, the title of the page is speech. I have 3 available settings. on, which basically means that anything that I see on the screen in Prodigy, the menus and so forth, all of them will be read to me. I can set to where I only have speech when I'm having documents read back to me, or I can turn speech off altogether. So most times, folks are going to choose one of the first two. So so you can see how this works, I'm going to use the arrow key on my keyboard and arrow down one right here.
Documents only. Off.
So as I arrow through these
On.
selections,
Documents only.
I can hear them read back to me. Now, for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to select documents only so that I don't have to speak over the system each time I am trying to explain what you're seeing on the screen. So documents only means
Documents
that
only
it will
checked.
read when I'm trying to use text-to-speech. Notice that I had to click on that in a touchscreen environment. I could tap on it, or I could have pressed my Enter key on my keyboard. And now I see that it's checked. That means that that is the selection that I've made. And in the upper right is that little airplane shaped symbol again. I will click on that to send my selection. And now we are in the interface of the Prodigy software. Quickly orientate you to the Prodigy interface that we've come to. Across the top, you will see 4 main items. To the upper left, you will see the date, and this is derived from your Windows system. So today, as you can see, is November 11th, 2024. In the center top is the time, again, from your system. I'm here on the East Coast, so it is showing 2:10 p.m. If I were in the UK, this would look differently. If I had my system set to UK English, it would probably be in 24-hour time format. Moving across the top to the right, I see an indicator of my battery status. So there is a battery with a little lightning symbol onto it. So that means that my computer is plugged in and charging. Presently, my battery status is 100%. And then to the far right top edge is a network symbol showing me that I am connected to the internet on my system. In the center of the screen is a large icon that says Magnifier. This is what we call our Prodigy Carousel. We are going to interface with that more in just a few moments. And then across the bottom are some navigation tools. However, the first thing you probably want to do is go ahead and get your magnifier set up before you start opening other applications and so forth. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Magnifier app by clicking on it. Again, I could have used a touchscreen to tap on that to open it up. I could use the keyboard to click Enter once I've activated that icon on our carousel. But I'm opening the Magnifier here, and you can see that the first time that I ever open it up, it's immediately going to ask me what camera do I want to use with this application. So the HoverCam Solo 8 Plus is the camera that we've optimized for. It is included with our starter kit, our complete kit, and our all-in-one PC solution. So as long as it's plugged into my computer, I can choose that and activate it, and it will come online. And with that, I am ready to start performing magnification and so forth. I am on a simple location here where I can use the keys to the right here in the far lower right corner. If I was on a touch screen, I could use a pinch and squeeze gesture on the screen to zoom in and zoom out. But we do have these buttons in the lower right corner here. I can also, again, use my keyboard. When I do, you'll hear the sounds. And then I can hit Enter to activate the functions of those keys. So I can do much of what you see on here via keyboard. And I can continue on there. So let's hit this back button over on the left of the screen now. This brings me back to what we call our carousel. I am going to give you a quick overview of this by using my arrow keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to tap the right arrow key once. Here's our distance application. If you have a second camera that you would like to use for distance viewing, this would be where you would enter in, and you will be asked to select a camera for use at distance. Note that you cannot use the same USB connected camera for each of these applications. We can only carry one stream at a time from each camera, so it needs to be a separate camera, or it needs to be deselected from one to use in the other. I'll tap my right arrow key one more time, and here I will see my files application. There are some sample files. I will use the enter key to go in here on my keyboard. There are some sample files in here that you can interact with if you would like to help you get more comfortable with using the software. So this will open up. In here you can see I've had Prodigy installed previously on here, but you will definitely have a folder on here that's called samples that you'll be able to open up. And there are a French and English text document and an English and French document, very similar to the one that I showed you in live magnification a moment ago. I am using my mouse now to interact with the buttons on the screen here, so I can point and click. I will hit this arrow in the upper left corner here to move back, and I'll tap it one more time to return to our main carousel. And now I'll use that button in the lower right corner with my mouse to tap on and scroll over to settings. This is where you can make a variety of different setting changes that you may want to employ for using Prodigy. And then I will use that upper left back arrow button to return to my carousel. And I will tap on this circle here to go to the very last of our carousel items, and that is a help menu. Let's click on that just so you can see what's available to you. Here you will see access to documentation. You will see access to how-to videos, a feedback form, and information to contact us. You do need internet connectivity to use each of these. They will take you to various locations on our website and YouTube to access these different help-related functionalities. I'll hit my back arrow here, and I'm going to again click on this far left empty circle here at the bottom of my carousel window, and that will take me back to my magnifier. So again, this was intended to be a very brief overview to get you started. Look for other videos that dive deeper into each of these applications that you've seen, as well as a video for how to connect your Solo 8 camera if that's what you're using. And the steps that will be shown in that video are very similar for any document camera. So as long as it's USB connected to your computer, you're going to be able to pick it up and use it in that magnifier or distance application. Thank you for viewing this video. Certainly hope that it's been useful to you. As always, look in the description of this video for a link to get to our feedback form and tell us how we're doing. It's the only way we can continue to improve our products and services to help you be successful using our low vision products. Thank you.